Hello, welcome back to the Move Better at Home podcast with the Cheer PT. And today I have with me Kristen Wheeler, who is the Cheer Mom. She's the author of the Cheer Mom blog. I'm so excited to have you here, Kristen. I really enjoy your Instagram content and it inspires me every day. And I'm not even a cheer mom. So I think your content is a lot of fun. So thank you so
Thank
much for being
you.
here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
So how did you get started? How did you get started with the Cheer Mom blog? I guess is the main question. And what's your journey in cheerleading?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me on, Laura. I'm just so excited to be talking to you. I've been following you for a while and appreciate everything you're doing in the sports community. I have been a cheer mom for 10 years, and it was just last year that I realized that there aren't a ton of resources out there for cheer parents specifically. And the cheer world, especially the all star cheer world, can be very overwhelming and all consuming. And I sort of have a passion to create community amongst the people that are in my world. And so I started doing some digging, and I'm like, there's a few places here and there, but there's really not any. There aren't any tools. There's not really a solid community giving resources and education from cheer parents to cheer parents. And the Cheer Mom blog was born. Coincidentally, I mean, or not, TikTok was on the rise, and I made a couple of TikToks that got a little bit of attention, and I guess the rest is history. I'm still working at it to add things to the blog, but that's kind of how I got started.
That's awesome. I think you're exactly right. Like when I was cheerleading I finished my own cheerleading career back in like 1990. But so when I was cheering, there was no such thing as a cheer mom. Like my mom would come to games and sometimes she would bring us cookies and stuff, but there wasn't like a community of cheer moms. When I was coaching, I had a community of like, we had the booster club and I met with them regularly, and man, I didn't realize at the time how much they did for my high school team and for me as a coach, like in supporting me. But now it's a whole different, like you guys support your teams, you're running after your kids, you are doing a lot of things to really help programs grow. And I think maybe it's more in an all-star community, community than it is in a high school, but I might be wrong. I'm a little out of touch and like into the actual groups there. But do you find that people are willing to help out? I guess is the first question. And also, do all star teams have like a team mom? Like, is there is there somebody that's a resource to be able to go to? Or tell me
Yes.
about, yeah.
Yeah. So in the all star community specifically, um, there is a team mom more often than not, just because there's so much going on and there's so much information to go out, and they're very specific about hair and makeup, and there's just a lot going on. And so you sort of need, I think you need that mom who gets it, who's in it with you, who can help bring you along. I feel like when I was in my first year of true competitive D1 all-star cheerleading, that it was like drinking from a fire hose. It really was. And I'm like, what is going on? I swore that I would never do this, that my daughter would never be part of this. And here we are, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And my team mom that first year, our daughters are still on the same team this year. My team mom that year was a godsend and a lifesaver for me, just in helping me know where to be and when, and anything from booking travel. Like, how do I know how to book a plane flight, but like, what am I supposed to do? When do we do this? And when are we supposed to get there? And where are we supposed to be? And she helped me through all of that. And so I think that there is definitely a need and a necessity for that, just from things, like I said, like informational things, and all the way to having Band-aids and hairspray and safety pins on competition day to help with all of the detail
Yeah.
that cheerleaders have in the all-star world. It's very blingy. It's very detailed, and so to have that person who's got that tool belt of things, if you will, I think is so key to not only helping the team to be successful, but for parents to feel successful. And I think that for as much time and money as parents put into it, parents need to feel included and successful too.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I would imagine you guys spend a ton of time together between, I mean, you travel all over the place, and on the go. So I imagine you have to spend a lot of time together, hopefully, and cheering together. And so having that unity and a resource for somebody to go to, be like, you know, how am I supposed to do my hair again? Or where do I get those shoes
Right.
again? Or how do I
Right.
see a lot, and so I think that's awesome. I know I was looking at the blog today, and you have a lot of different tips between uh, some crafting things, some just tips and tricks for cheer moms. What stands out to me is the snacks part of it, because I didn't look at the recipes fully because my mouth was watering, number one, but I saw some roll-ups and some cookies on there that looked like they were pretty healthy cookies. So talk to me a little bit about on that, because I look at fitness and how do we keep our cheerleaders healthy and safe and fueling them so that they know that they need to eat, that they can eat actually tasty, good food. And hopefully it's a little bit healthier options than sometimes I think at competitions. There's pizza, hot dogs, and chips. And not that it's bad to have that on occasion, but if that's what you're eating every single weekend for 3 meals a day, that's an issue. And so tell me a little bit more about your snacks blog.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fitness expert by any stretch of the imagination, and I will say that it's really, really hard. I want to recognize how difficult it is for anyone to eat healthy and to eat well, whether you're an athlete or not. But especially, I think for us moms, it's really hard to at the pace that life moves these days. I feel like even after with the pandemic and everything, we've all kind of picked up this, it might be a different pace, but it's still a fast pace of life. And I am the first one to tell you that I will grab a cereal bar or have grabbed a cereal bar or fries, or, we grab the sugary coffee drink every competition. I recognize that. And I won't say that I faithfully feed my kid healthy foods, and she'll tell you that too. She's like, "You have all these snacks. Like, when are you gonna make them?"
I know.
I do make them sometimes, but I do realize that I do know that it's important to have. I like the four, the healthy fat, the protein, fiber, and greens, and so I try to include those. Just from the minimal knowledge and education that I have on the subject of nutrition, I try to include those in the healthy snacks. And but even more importantly, I wanted them to be easy to make. So all of these things, almost all of them don't require any cooking, but they all take 10 minutes or less to do. And so I have like a big staple in our family is a quesadilla, and just that little tortilla and cheese, or you can do gluten-free tortilla and cheese and just fry it up just really quick in a pan. You mentioned the roll-ups. That's my daughter's favorite. I call it banana sushi. Again, with tortilla and peanut butter, almond butter, and a banana, and you roll it all up and cut it like sushi. It's a great grab and go. The protein balls, again, it's just like oatmeal and some nut butter and a few other things that are really flavorful, but that fuel them and keep them from just being so exhausted. So right now, my daughter is in high school cheer and all-star cheer, and she is always on the go. And so I try to have things as best I can ready to just grab out the door, because she's like a blur. She's That's how I see her. She's in and out, and so to have those things, I think the best that we can, to have those available. So I do have those snack recipes on the blog. It's just like a free printable, with 10 or so recipes that you can get inspiration from.
Yeah, I think they're incredible because you're right. Like as parents, or as coaches, everybody's on the go. And cheerleaders, the kids are too, absolutely. But your parents are the ones that are making meals and doing, generally. Sometimes the kids are good in helping, but and when you find the time, because you're off you're working, you're taking care of your kids, and you're running after them, and so having those easy, quick things are key. And I think those four things are the main pillars, especially for a growing athlete or an active athlete, that you incorporate those healthy fats and proteins and the grains and the greens, and you don't shy away from them, and give them an option that's just as easy as grabbing, when I was in college, I pretty much lived on Reese's peanut butter cups and Diet Coke.
Right. And
ramen. So
yeah.
the more you can get away from that and, have something that's easy and quick to grab. This is my plug to all the programmers out there, or the people that run the snack shacks out there, is give a few more healthy options. It's hard to do. I think on a big scale, it's really hard to do. But I the fact that there's a resource for these and it's an easy follow, I think that's huge. So thank you for doing that, because I think it's helpful for a lot of people, and it can help keep kids moving, because they do need the energy to get through practice, especially if they're going doubles practice and going through choreography or learning new skills,
Right.
In your one of the, I don't know if it was in the blog or it's just some different pieces, you really talked about communication and delegating, planning, and really having some parental only bonding. How has that, can you dive a little bit more into that? Do you guys have preseason meetings that are or do you encourage people to have preseason meetings? Maybe talk a little bit about when the all-star season, because I think it's pretty much year round, right? You have a whole window of a week off.
If that.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So the season officially starts with evaluations usually the first week of May at the latest, and they're announcing teams by the end of May, and choreography and skills camps and all that happens over the summer. And then we start competing as early as October. I know that a lot of teams have already competed. The bulk of the big competition and travel season is January through the end of April. So, for example, we went to Florida for a couple of big competitions last year, landed back home on Monday at noon, and high school tryouts were that evening at 5, and all-star tryouts were the following weekend. So it really is all the time, and it's constant. But as far as parents are concerned, in my experience, it is a little bit slower. We don't necessarily have a lot of things going on that first half of the season. But one thing that I appreciate about the All-Star program that I have been a part of is that they have regular parent meetings with the coaches, and the athletes are invited to. And so there is always that constant stream of communication as to here we are at this point of the season, and here's what's happening. So if it's evaluations or tryouts, if it's travel season, I really appreciate that our program is very transparent and very communicative with us about what needs to be happening and what's going on with the team and where they're at. So in terms of the gym, we try to meet monthly with all of our parents and our coaches and our gym owners. But then the parents really start to bond. I did a parent bonding after our first parent meeting, and then we kind of life happens, and we try to connect at the gym sometimes, but the bonding, I think, really happens when you start traveling together, obviously, because you're all at the same hotel, you're all pretty much on the same flight, you're all in the same schedule and routine. And I think that's, for me, that's when the magic happens with parents, is that, okay, well, we're all here in this city, let's all go to dinner, let's all hang out at the hotel. And I think those are the times that I'll take with me. But I think it's really important for the parents to be on the same page as best we can, because our kids are, they're holding each other's lives in their hands, not to sound dramatic, but I really appreciate connecting with the parents and knowing more about their kids as a whole person, as a well-rounded person, more than just how I know their athlete on the cheer mat. And so getting to know the parents, and again, it's so consuming. You've got to make friends. We all have to have friends. So I, as an introvert, and as somebody who really enjoys being by myself, that's something that I've had to really be intentional about, is, okay, well, I don't want to feel lonely during this whole cheer season. It's time to kind of put myself out there and get together with these cheer mom friends. And I've gotten a lot of great people in my life because of it.
That's awesome. I think that helps, really knowing, because we can be in the stands watching a routine and not know really what's going on in the dynamics in the whole team, other than what's on the floor, or maybe what someone says coming home. But getting to know them, knowing the parents, and kind of knowing a little bit more about the team members in general as human beings. Sometimes people have a bad day. Sometimes stuff's going on outside that,
right.
We hope that you leave it outside in that, but sometimes it doesn't. And like having that support system to know that when something comes down, or something, that you can still hold each other up when that happens. So I think that's a huge piece of the parent aspect of cheer, as well as supporting your own cheerleader, and helping them to understand what their team members are going through.
Absolutely.
Switching gears a little bit on that, and I don't want to dive necessarily into really injuries, but you mentioned your daughter does high school and all-star cheer, and that can be, that's a lot for anybody. I think it's very common these days for a lot of athletes to do 2 different seasons, or to do multiple sports at one time. How do you find how's her recovery time, or how, like, not necessarily her injuries, I don't want to talk that, but is it challenging to find time to kind of let her body rest, recover, and do the things that need to do to help keep her body safe, so she can do both? And
it's really hard. It's really hard. And in the past, we've done things like get her set up with a chiropractor. We have a sports recovery facility nearby that she's gone to a few times, that I really encourage her to, hey, go do the ice bath, go do the massage chair, go recover your body. One thing that I think has really clicked for her is that strength and conditioning piece. So there is the recovery piece, and I think she does the best that she can. Luckily, she's very young, and so her body is incredibly resilient. I need, 3 rest days after a big workout day. But she has really taken ownership of that strength and conditioning. So above and beyond her normal practices, she is in the gym doing weightlifting, doing stretching, things like that I have seen a noticeable difference in how her body is recovering, because she has that endurance and strength as a foundation behind her. So those are some of the things that I've noticed. I do try to encourage her to get more sleep. And she's a senior now, so she kind of is in control of her own life in many ways. But I try to, hey, I bought some fruit, I bought some protein. It's there for you. I will pay for you to go to the sports recovery place. I try to get her massages, and as somebody who grew up pretty poor, massage, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting my daughter a massage. I totally, we're life of luxury over here. But it's so crucial, for their muscles to get worked in all kinds of different ways. And so those are the ways that I kind of try to help her. And I think the sleep is so important.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that. I love that she takes ownership of her strength and conditioning too, because yes, that I actually think that's part of recovery in that double season time and when you're on the go, because it's so easy to forget, and then we lose strength pretty quickly when we stop doing it, even though they're active. And when they're involved in sports teams, like they're still using muscles and whatever, but if you're not building outside of that, you lose it. And then that will just even maintaining that through the time frame that they're going hardcore can help them recover easier, plus doing everything that you said. And sleep, I think in my research that I did in school, like I think they didn't really talk about sleep deprivation, but a big reason kids got injured was just losing focus and being distracted. And
They're
I
off
think a
their
lot
guard.
of that comes from sleep, and sleep
Yep.
deprivation. And, none of us realize it until I'm starting to realize it now, thankfully, but like, oh wow, I'm exhausted and I don't think I should be going hardcore. And, if you haven't gotten a good night's sleep, how it's going to affect you. And I think that's super important, especially in that age range, under college age. I think like they forget sometimes that sleep is actually just as important as all the rest of it. So,
Absolutely.
So how do you, as a cheer mom, maintain your own health and fitness? Because it can be very challenging, with your own schedule. Do you have a specific routine that you do for yourself? How do you take care of yourself?
I do. So for the most part, I try to get up early and get my workout in before the day starts. I find that if I don't, it doesn't get done. So moving my body is really important to me. I usually do that around 5 days a week. I have my own morning ritual where I put a lot of fat in my coffee to help keep me full for a big part of the day. And then water is my number one priority. I try to drink half my weight in ounces of water every day. So those are the things that I do. And especially at cheer competitions when it can be a 12-hour affair, I bring my water bottle with me wherever I go. I try to, if I don't get my workout in on a cheer competition day, I will put on my Apple Watch and make sure I get my steps in. I'll take a lap or two around the stadium or the venue wherever we're at. So I try to do some of those things when we're traveling. I'll do a lot of stretching and yoga and meditation and things like that to keep my focus and keep those endorphins going.
That's perfect. Finding ways to work it into your day. And, I think it's easy to forget, like, oh, I can't go exercise, but if you're sitting in a competition, like in between while you're waiting for the next team to come up, just walking around can be a huge thing. Getting out of your chair and standing up can be big at keeping your muscles and your joints feeling good. And same, like finding ways to work that into your daily routine, I think is huge. And I think a lot of us forget to do that, myself included. So
it's easy to sit there in a stadium seat and just sort of wait and shoot the breeze with your friends or whatever. But I've gotten much more entertainment and exciting and things and seen more behind the scenes things at cheer competitions just by doing my laps than I would have really anywhere else. I've met more people, So I really enjoy. If you ever see me at a cheer competition, you'll probably see me doing a few laps around the venue.
That's excellent. In your other things on the blog that I loved that I think it helped to inspire exercise. So this is something I've been thinking about starting to do myself, is putting together playlists. And so can you talk about you don't have to talk about the playlist per se. I think having that is huge. So go, if you're watching this, go check out the website and check out that playlist, because I'm sure there's some awesome music on there to get your kids pumped up. How about talking about some team bonding ideas, and what are some fun things that you guys have done to help bring the team together, parents and kids, or just kids, or yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things. So I have a list of over 30 team bonding ideas on the website, and it can be anything from goat yoga to we love a couple years now. I've done what I affectionately call black tie pancakes, where we all get dressed up in our black tie attire and then have a pancake and bacon breakfast. We have done selfie museums. So those are kind of scattered around the country, where you can go to. It's a museum of backdrops for selfies, and the kids really enjoy that. You can make stuff. Tie-dye is kind of big right now, especially with the younger kids. And so making tie-dye shirts and the parents doing, we love our happy hours. So that's always an easy and fun go-to. I have ideas on there about how you can make your own photo booth for less than $100. We did a fun and creative course last year when the whole world was shut down. We had to come up with virtual team bonding ideas, and I did a virtual team bonding bingo, which can be done in person now, but instead of calling out numbers and letters, we had the name of the athlete and something they had to do. And I made bingo sheets, and that's all on the website about how you can do that literally for free. But it was so fun because we would pull from different bowls, and it would be Susie has to do a TikTok dance, or Sally has to do an impression of a coach, and they would mark it off on their bingo sheet, and then that person would do that fun activity. And it was so much fun. One of my most memorable team bondings that I've been to. And it gives them a chance to get to know each other. So there's lots of things that you can do with your team to get everybody closer together. And it doesn't have to be, I should add, I love events and parties and brunch and all of that. And those can be big affairs, and they can be expensive affairs, but you don't have to do that. You can do something as simple as an ice cream bar after practice at the gym. And that gets, anytime people are eating together, I feel like is a good time.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you want to do healthy, you can always go that route and do a healthy buffet. But, anything that gets people together in one place, outside of the down to business work time, which is so important. But even Fortune 500 companies go out and do ropes courses and go out and do things outside of the office, because it gets that chemistry and that community going. And so I'm a huge fan of team bondings. I think it's fun to do things when you're traveling, and find something in that foreign city to go do together. We were in Atlanta a couple years ago, and all went to the aquarium or the Coke Museum. So it's a lot of fun to get everybody together outside the gym.
That's really cool. I'm a big fan for ice cream. That's my so I think there's, if you eat it in moderation, everything can be helpful.
That's
healthy,
true.
healthy, yep, exactly. What is goat yoga? You
goat yoga. So I have personally never done it, but I've seen it. It's where you go to an outdoor location and you do yoga, but there are actually live goats next to you that will sometimes stand on you or lay down with you. And it's just a giggle. There's also a puppy yoga close by to us. So how fun it would be to
Oh, that would
be
be
doing a
awesome.
down dog and you've got a puppy licking your face. I think that's
Yeah.
so fun to just mix it up with creative things like that.
I mean, like pets are supposed to be huge at, or pets are huge at increasing endorphins and making you happy.
Right.
So like to go and relax and do yoga and be, oh, that's fun. I've never heard of
Yes.
that. And that it's, yeah,
Google it. There's probably
I
one in
will.
your town.
I will. Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Is there anything on the website that I missed that is, or in your, that you want to relay to parents uh, that we haven't talked about?
I think you covered it. There's just lots of sections for everyone, whether you are a parent considering doing All Star Cheer, to it's your first year, all the way to people like me who it's they've been in it for years and are just looking for fun and creative ideas. We have a Facebook group also where we're getting together and being positive as cheer parents and rooting each other on, and lots of exciting things coming up. And so there's all kinds of stuff, even for team moms. There's a team mom toolkit just for those brave souls who've decided to be the team rep for their team. Lots of different tools there, and I hope to be entertaining too. There's a few things in there about cheerleader superstitions and things like that. And there's also a questions you should ask your gym before deciding to commit. What's important to ask and to know in the sport, and where your values at. So lots of stuff in there. You can sign up for my emails. I send those periodically with all kinds of fun stuff.
Very awesome. And I'll post a link to that in the show notes as well. Um, is your daughter considering, is she thinking that she wants to cheer going forward after her senior year? Does she like, or is she kind of undecided yet? Just like,
She's thinking about it. She's got a lot of big decisions coming up. All of
yeah,
her college applications are in, and so now it's just a little bit of a waiting game and going forward, and it's very interesting to see. So it's, do I go to college for cheer, or do I go to college and cheer?
yeah,
And there's a big difference there. So no decisions yet,
yeah.
but I know that cheer will always hold a special place in her heart either way.
I think it. I don't. I mean, clearly, it never goes away. You know, 40 years now. It's kind of stays with you. And uh, I it was one of my. I always wanted my high school kids to continue on and cheer in college, because for me, college cheerleading was like it. But I didn't cheer all star either. Like it was, and it was just the team bonding and the things that we did together and the travel. And so I hope that she finds some place that she can include cheer. I don't think it should be the only thing that you go to school for, because there is life outside of cheer also. And I think that helps with the balance, but finding that balance is key. And whatever she decides, I hope she has a great time and just enjoys the ride along the way, and enjoys the season today for what it is too. So
Yes, thank you.
wishing everybody a lot of luck. So where can people reach you if they have some questions? How can they find you on social media and whatnot?
Yes, thank you for asking. So I'm at the Cheer Mom blog, all on social media. I think it's just Cheer Mom blog on TikTok. But the Cheer Mom blog, you can find the Facebook group. It's the Cheer Mom Hive. And you can find all of that at thecheermomblog.com. So you'll find me all in those places. There's a little contact button. You can click there. You can email me at hi@thecheermomblog.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Cool. And again, I'll post those all in the show notes, and definitely check her out, because she has some really awesome tips. And I've seen you on TikTok and Instagram and your website, and I've noticed some replies in different Facebook groups. And I think you have awesome advice, and you're a lot of fun. You do it in a great way. So kudos to you, and keep up the good work. And thank you so much again for being here.
Oh my
Don't hang
gosh,
up just yet.
thank you.
Cool. All right, everybody, have a great day. And don't forget, when in doubt, breathe out, take it one step at a time, and we'll see you next time.